I just want to share a few moments with you and with an old friend from London, Ontario, Dr. Bill Klein, who was instrumental in making me successful while I was in London, from whom I learned a great deal about synagogue life. And perhaps our biggest, most important accomplishment while I was in Ontario was the fact that we were able to work together to have only one day of Yom Tov. And Dr. Klein wrote a tshuva that was very, very poignant and to the point, which I was perfectly willing to adopt. And I'll share with you, Dr. Klein, when I came to Naples, facing the similar problems and challenges, I presented the text to our community, and we also celebrate one day of Yom Tov. So we'll be having Yizkor on Saturday, April 3rd, instead of Sunday like everybody else. And we follow the calendar according to the Israeli standards. And it's worked beautiful for us. So I want people to understand where things come from. And that tells you a little bit about the knowledge, the depth and the quality of Dr. Klein's knowledge. And he has prepared a number of presentations, one of which I'm going to share with you today on the festival of Passover. But I didn't want to do that without introducing the author, Dr. Klein, and his wife, Shoshana, who is a professional educator. The two of them work together on this project. How are you, Bill?
I'm great. It's good to see you, Rabbi Choni. It was 13 and a half months since we last saw each other.
Yes, you were visiting here with Donna and
Jerry,
the Kleinmans, and we were delighted to see you. I was delighted to see you.
I was delighted to see you, and it was my birthday, and you remembered. So,
correct. Tell me a little bit about this project of yours.
This project grew out of a request to make a presentation at Or Shalom, at our synagogue here in London. And Rose and I worked on it for quite a while. It's an outgrowth of a bunch of other projects that we had made about Pesach over the years that we pulled together. Basically, it is a description of the history of Pesach, why we celebrate Pesach, because as most people probably know, the Haggadah never really tells the story. It assumes that everybody knows the story and it makes references to it. But we told the story b'kitzur, in a very abbreviated fashion. We incorporated graphics and pictures and tried to tell it very succinctly. And then we went on to talk about how Pesach is observed ordinarily with the Pesach preparations and things like B'dikat Chametz and Biur Chametz and the Siyum Bechorim, and explained what all of those things are. We explained what Chametz is, what Chametz is not, what Matzah is, the things that can become Chametz and how they become Chametz. And then we explained the differences for this particular year, on which Shabbat is the day before Pesach, which is quite rare. And I
want you to know that one of the times in London, we were invited to your house for the first night of Pesach, and it happened to be the same arrangement. We sat in your brand new basement along the long tables, and we made a lot of talk and a lot of schmoozing waiting for the time to be, because it was also Motzei Shabbat.
It was, so it must have been 2008. It was
probably, yes.
13 years ago. Yes, I remember that you and Aviva were at our Seder. And then we explained the steps of the Seder. We introduced a couple of, a new word, Yaknehaz, which describes the sequence of the Kiddush on Motzei Shabbat. And we included some songs, Manishtana, and a couple of other things in there to round it out.
It's wonderful. People need to know also that Dr. Klein is a very accomplished musician. I think as a youth, you actually were part of a band, right? In Montreal, where you grew up.
Yes, yes, yes. When I was a kid, yeah.
So when you will see, he plays the keyboard during the presentation. And when I was in London, he was always the music man behind every program that we did. You and what's his name from up north, uh, married to Judy,
Fred Ball.
Fred Ball, correct.
Yeah,
How are they doing?
they're doing fine. Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah.
Well, before you and I start reminiscing and talking about everybody we have in common, I'm going to cut us short so we have time for the presentation. I want to thank you for allowing me to use your presentation. And if you cannot join us at the end of the program and there are any questions, I'll be sure to send them to you so you can continue sharing your knowledge and your love of Torah and Yiddishkeit with us. To you and to Rose, a Chag Kasher v'Sameach, and hopefully you will be able to come and visit us real soon. Perhaps you can give us a lecture live when you come next time.
Yes, or we can perhaps do something live on Zoom at another time, or live when I'm there. It'd be a pleasure. It's so nice to talk with you. It's so good to see you. You're looking great, and
Thank
we
you.
wish you and Aviva and all your kids and grandkids Chag Sameach v'Kasher, and it's a pleasure to be able to do this together.
Thank you. Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach.